PHAT? They still say that? Yo, that's fat.
Probably.
That's fat farm.
Be gassing me up.
Can you use it in a sentence, please? Like, what would you call fat? Like, you'd say, like
we used to say, yo, them shoes are fat.
I haven't heard that one.
Never?
Uh-uh.
PHAT?
I've heard that, but I haven't heard it in like that's fat.
Come on, man. That's fat.
That's nasty. That's sick. That's fat.
That's
Why do we
fat
do that?
nasty.
Why do we use those words? They're like really negative words, and we.
Not sure. I'm not sure the answer to that.
Where would that come from? Who started that?
Our desire to
Make people feel out of the loop.
our desire to make our desire to reconcile negativity to positivity. It was how we were created. Longing for that savior. Come on.
That reminds me of that Stephen Furtick thing with John Gray, where he would just like toss him any topic. It's like,
You could totally do that with Johnny.
yeah.
Nah.
Johnny, you could totally
All right, Johnny.
any topic, and he can preach it.
Nah.
What would the sermon be?
Old man goes to the grocery store and buys him some milk because he hasn't had some for a couple weeks.
You could probably say something like, where does it say in the Paul writes and says something about there's a difference between the people who are drinking milk and eating meat, and so sometimes if you haven't been nourished in a while, you got to go back to the milk. So the old man sometimes needs some milk to get through the day.
Oh man, gotta get some milk.
I don't know.
Little kid playing with his toy, and his dad takes his toy away, and little kid starts crying.
Discipline is profitable. It may hurt at the time, but daddy knows what's best. Discipline is profitable.
This is good. I like this.
I say, watch out, Christmas is coming.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. All right. Time for the I tossed his name on it, but I don't even know if it makes sense. Lwack. Elwack.
Elwack.
That's whack.
Elwack. Last week at church. Elwack. Time for the Elwack. Time for the Elwack.
Elwack.
Yeah, it's a little reflection, like we always do at the beginning of the pod. A little reflection. What was last week like?
Do you call it a pod? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a pod. It's fat. It's a fat pod. You know?
I love it.
Pod.
It's a pod.
Pod.
You been checking out our pod?
You watched this week's pod?
Oh, I love it. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad I'm in
Pod.
the end now. I feel like I'm learning new words. It's awesome.
So Sunday we went. Youth had an event that we went to in Florence.
Yeah.
Youth Encounter. That was pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Some of those trips, like it was an incredible service. But those trips to me, before we even go, I know that like the trip itself, like the drive there, is almost a hit 99% of the time.
No doubt.
And it was on the ride back. It was a blast. It's funny because I had all boys, so I took Scott's Suburban, right? And it was like iconic. And Scott texted me right before the trip. He's like, he said, "Man, this feels like when Han gives his keys to the Millennium Falcon in Lando." And I was like, "Bro, I agree 100%. This is what this feels like. Is an iconic moment here." And on the ride back, it's like I got all boys, and we had an affirmation circle.
That's awesome.
It's one of it was hilarious, and at the same time, it was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
High school, middle school boys affirming each other in a circle, and it was like, this is in one sense, it was like, this is really cool. In another sense, it was like, what are we doing? Like,
what are we doing?
like usually these boys, like, you got to rally them in all the time.
Yeah. Like
and
let's crack on each other. That's what high school boys should be doing.
Exactly. So yeah, I had a great weekend. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Johnny. I'll let you do your Elwack now.
Nah, mine was kind of sad because
Dang.
I got to the 6 p.m. service. I had my Kids Point shirt on. I was ready to serve. man, I like walked through the front doors, like just, get my kid dance going. You know what? I wasn't even on the schedule.
Dang.
My wife made me leave.
She had to kick you out, huh?
Dang.
Yeah, she's like, you're not.
So you had to go hear that sermon for the 4th time.
For the 4th time. Hey, look, I've been listening. I've been doing 4 services for how long now? It's not it doesn't matter to me. I can do 4. I could probably do 6.
It might feel weird on a Sunday, like only hearing it once.
You're probably going to have to go back and watch it just because you only heard it once and you're like, I know I've missed something because I'm so used to hearing it 4 times that I know I've missed something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm used to looking for those like little changes, like looking for the little like what's the special nugget going to be in this service?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to be one. So maybe throughout the week I'll have to ask you about the different nuggets that.
But no
that
one's
you're
going to
thinking
miss like those cool moments that you have like in the 9. Yeah. Like no one's going to be like, you're not going to have to explain what happened in the service before. It's just,
that's true.
Everyone's going to say, hey, you might have like 3 of those moments in one now.
Very true. Very, very true.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. Speaking of what it's going to be like, I was looking for different things to reflect on in our church. And revival, obviously, is one of those topics that we've been talking about.
I didn't do my LWAC.
Oh, yeah. What's your LWAC? You have a good one? Or was it sad? We need an upper. Johnny took us down.
Shocker, Johnny took us down.
I did not.
Right?
But I said, too, at the same time, I was looking forward to serving. So.
Bro, you about cried when you said yours.
I love Kids Point. I love getting in there. And no one judges you in Kids Point. No one makes fun of you for being a kid. You just get to just be yourself.
So my LWAC is that knowing where we're going to as a church and some of the stuff that we're getting ready to head into, and knowing that Discord is going to be very difficult to navigate through the sermon that I preached on Sunday, but then coming down to the floor and just looking people in the eyes and having a real conversation, real heartfelt conversation about the future of our church, to me was just a, I don't know, I don't want to say a powerful moment, but just a moment that I really felt like needed to be had, and it needed to come from, the shepherd to eyeball with everyone and having that conversation. And so anyways, it was really good. And then Friday baptized 2 people at church, so that was awesome. That was awesome. And then Saturday a wedding, and then Sunday was awesome, and then Monday, Labor Day, it was awesome again. Oh. Funeral was awesome, and the prayer service after funeral. So it was just a incredible weekend with a lot of really cool stuff happening around here.
Yeah, there's a lot happened this weekend.
A lot happened this weekend.
Yeah. Wow. So going from that. So I was kind of looking up with us being in this place of revival being a word that's tossed around, been being tossed around for a while now. I wanted to mainly pick your brain, and obviously we can kind of chime in as well, but I'm excluding myself as well.
I mainly want to pick your brain.
I do want to pick your brain.
Everybody stares at Johnny for a second. Thanks, guys. I'm just going to leave.
Now I'm excluding myself, too, because I can say a little bit, but I want to know where you feel like where we've been the last bit, and again, there's multiple perspectives on it. Some people are like, you're in revival. Some people are saying it's about to blow up. Some people are saying you've been in it for a while now. So on that topic, what would you say brings revival? What would you say hinders revival? And what would you say revival looks like?
Great questions. Let's start with what brings revival. I think what brings revival is, I preached on this, 10 weeks ago. I don't know how long ago it's been, but what brings revival is righteousness, holiness. Every revival movement that we've seen in our lifetime, I say our lifetime, in history, in the current New Testament church model, every revival that we've seen has been based on a holiness movement. A group of people that are truly saying, I want to be separated from the world. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like I don't want to go watch movies. I mean, I want my life to look different. And so holiness, righteousness has to be a prerequisite for revival. And then from that, you build on top of that, or maybe even the foundation under that, whichever way you want to place it, is the word prayer. And it's something that we have placed an emphasis on in this church, but also something that there's so much more left in prayer. Last night was a perfect example where you get to the end of prayer and you could just tell that there were people who didn't want to leave. I told Pastor Simeon, I was like, man, that's the perfect opportunity to write songs, because there's just moments where people are in the presence of God and don't want to leave. And I think those moments then translate into pressing in even more. And so sometimes it's hard to, if you've been inside of services where you're feeling the presence of God, and sometimes there's almost a difficulty to get to that moment, but then when you get to that moment, you don't want to leave that moment. And so I think one of the things that again, kind of that prerequisite of prayer or of revival is, okay, let's make sure we're holy, make sure we're righteous. None of us are righteous, none but Christ, but ultimately we're trying our best to live a submitted life to Him, a sanctified life to Him. We're building on prayer. Inside of those moments of prayer, then we linger. We don't rush through those moments. We don't rush to get to dinner or to get to the next thing. We just stay in those moments and we just allow the Spirit of God to move. And I think in those moments, to me, is where we will experience kind of that next layer of things. And I think sometimes we are so rushed, so busy, so ready to get to the next thing that we miss those lingering moments. So prayer, holiness, righteousness, and then just, a time restraints thrown away, to me, are kind of those three things that are going to lead us into a season of what I see as revival going forward.
Yeah. So that's what brings it, right? So inside of that, how much do you think, like, personal revival for individuals is tied to a group revival? Like, does one have to happen before the other? Is it like the group usually happen? Like, what does that look like? So again, the word revival is, the concept is to be revived, right? To rekindle, to restart, to take something that was dying and to breathe life into it. And so as revival, as the concept of revival is happening inside of our church, and are we in the middle of it? Of course. I mean, we've had 270 people baptized in the last 23 weeks. So of course people are being revived, but as people are being revived, because the church is pushing for a place of revival, because people are being revived, then it's going to create it's almost the back and forth, right? The church is pushing for revival, people's lives are being revived, which then pushes revival back to the church, which then pushes people into wanting to be revived even more. And so you just have this back and forth bouncing off of each other. Well, so like when you look back at movements that we refer to a lot, what's like the marker of revival breaking out and like there being a movement of revival? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what's something that we could look at or something that we could say, like, if this starts to happen, or if, that's when it's like, this is a movement now. We know revival's been breaking out, but when does it become like the movement's happening?
Oh, Lordy. I see so many things in my head that I'm almost afraid to say.
Yeah. Because it just breaks apart expectations, right? Like, it's a big part of it is all of the things that when you're just sitting at home thinking, like, this would be cool if it happened at church. Revival is like when it's like that whole ceiling is just, the lid is just popped off.
Yeah, and if you say, hey, okay, here goes what revival looks like to me, for us to, for everybody to pick up their chairs and throw them up in the air. That's what revival looks like to me. And then on Sunday, if everybody does that, it almost puts an expectation on what revival is to you, rather than, God, what is it that you're trying to do? And so for me, the beautiful part of revival and the beautiful thing that's happening inside of our church, inside of prayer nights and inside of services, is everything is always so unique. Every service is so unique. Every moment of prayer is so unique. And it's like God is constantly trying to do these new things and this unique thing. And so for me, revival is going to be people's lives being changed forever, people being healed. And I don't even just mean, physical healing. I mean emotional, and marriages being healed, and finances being healed, and things of that nature that truly sometimes may seem like it's completely your responsibility to take the steps necessary to heal those things. But at the end of the day, it's the Holy Spirit inside of you that's going to give you the strength to help you overcome those things. So healings and deliverance and redemption and restoration and wholeness and a lot of these words that you see attached to the New Testament church operating inside of our church, not once a week, but truly operating inside of our church on a daily, hourly basis, like truly something that we operate in and we walk around in. I expect revival to impact our politicians in the community. I expect revival to impact our surrounding businesses. I expect revival to impact other churches in the area. I think a true revival here is going to impact a lot of it's going to touch a lot of different areas in the community that are so much more than just the people in our church.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. Johnny, I got one that you can lead off here.
No,
Please do.
Okay.
What do you feel like hinders revival?
What hinders revival? Us. I think we're a big part of that. I think not willing to submit to what God's trying to do and what and not being open to what He's trying to do and trying to push our agenda. I think, it would be the opposite of some of the things that Pastor said about what, how do you usher in revival? If you're not living a holy lifestyle, if you're not committed to prayer, if those things aren't foundations to what you're doing, then how are you going to even, if revival did hit despite you being living that lifestyle and having those foundations in your life, then how are you going to maintain that? So then it begs the question, then why would you even, what's the why are you seeking revival if there's no fruit from the revival? So I would just flip it on its head there.
I say sin hinders revival. I think an unwillingness to admit that we're sinners hinders revival. An unwillingness to admit that we need Him, that we have this arrogance that we can do it on our own, or that we can produce a show better than He can move in a church service. I think that hinders revival. I think there's people who would be submissive to God's plan if they were able to discern His voice, and I think there's a lack of scripture and scriptural understanding of people that whenever He speaks, they don't know if it's Him because they don't know His word. And so there's, to me, a ton of things that hinders revival, and I think it's the reason why you've seen very few true moves of God throughout our time, or throughout a New Testament church. Once the apostles died, the disciples passed away, it was very few, let's say 50 revivals since then, and it's because there's so many things that hinders it.
Yeah, I feel like it's so interesting when you tie that dynamic into so I feel like if someone goes up and does any part of a service where they're serving, or they speak or something like that, I feel like there is this kind of knowing that you have to be, there's the tie of preparation and being filled, you have to prepare for it, but you also have to be filled with the Holy Spirit because He's using you. And so there's almost this you do all of those things that we're talking about going into that moment, and then the moment happens, and most people just deflate after that.
Mm-hmm.
Most people just go, okay, it happened, I'm good. The thing was
Right.
done, you know? Or if like someone preaches, they're like, all right, I preached my sermon, you know, it's through, and now, you know, that's a thing that is like a big part of I feel like, because those things like living righteously and being in his word and spending time with him, like I feel like when someone has like a big moment, they live up to that, and then after that it's like, I'm just
100%.
gonna go back to me, you know? So it's almost like if there was just a bunch of people that got to that level of like, you know, when you know that you're gonna do something big, or you know that you're gonna do something but that's sustained, you know, like
Yep.
that living life like that is every day, you know, because I know it's different for me. Like I live my life, my day looks different if I know that I'm about to preach tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I know my life looks different, and it's not like I'm sinning one day, not sinning the next, but it's like I know my attention, it's almost like an athlete when they're like it's game day, you know,
100%.
like they're quick, you know,
Yeah.
they're on it, and they're very attentive, and they know like it's time to do it. And so instead of it going like this wave that everybody gets on, I feel like a good way to think about it is like that just being sustained. And even in saying that, like that is something worth that I mean, that's like a term should be there, which is revival, you know, like that's not a hey, like just sustain that level. It's like, no, when that happens, like, yeah, revival's breaking out.
Yep.
When people are living at that, where I don't care, you know, like I'm waking up, I don't care, I want to be in his presence. I'm going to sleep, I don't care, I want to be in his presence. Where it's like nothing is going to hinder this that I have with you, God. And that being sustained is, you know, I mean, once that is like breaking out and in a place where, like you said, it's affecting so much outside of it, man, it's crazy to even think about it. You know, it's crazy to think about what that would look like. So we talked about what creates it, what hinders it, what are areas of our church today. You know, we talked about baptism. What are other areas of our church today that we're seeing that happening?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think baptisms. I think in Monday night prayer, you see revival. Again, don't want to say breaking out, but you see revival kindling. You know,
Yeah.
you see sparks being blown on and being cared for, and people who prayed whenever they were in their early 20s that have fallen away, not into sin, but just fallen away into life and walked away from their dedication to prayer, are now fighting for that again. And so we have a Monday night prayer time that to me is going to be the catalyst of revival for our church. We're going to see something inside of prayer services every week that's going to create this rekindling inside of so many other people. So baptisms, prayer nights, even our daily devotions that are being read, you know, from our church. And you know, I know I don't know how many people actually finish it, but I know there's, you know, 100 people, 150 people, 250 people, I don't know how many it is, that are invited, that read this devotion with us, a part of our church every day. That's stuff that it's not common now.
Yeah.
It used to be so common. It used to be that Christians woke up every morning, picked up their Bible, and read their Bible. And now there's just this rekindling, this revival, this desire to pick up the Word of God and read and to pray and to do spiritual things again. And how many people right now, during what month is it? It's August,
yeah.
September? I don't know.
It's September.
Last week I
yeah.
said October.
I know.
And I'm like, Phil, why didn't you stop me? It's not October.
I looked back at it and I was like, me and Johnny, we just stared at you.
Just stared.
And I
Like,
remember
what are you
in that
gonna do?
moment-
Like,
I
come
remember
on.
in that moment, I was like, I don't know what happened just there, but something was off.
So, anyways, here in September,
Yeah.
there's people already talking to me about, you know, sacred season and fasting, and I can't wait to fast again. And you're like, you don't have to wait till sacred season to fast.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
fast,
yeah.
go
Yeah,
for it.
right.
Let's do it. You know, and
100%.
so it's just this rekindling, this reigniting of a fire that has maybe smoltered off or, you know, fell away.
Yeah. I do feel like so those moments where somebody says, like, I feel like there's just something that I want to do here. Like I want to just get into a sacred season mode.
Yeah.
I think so many people have those like minutes where they feel that. And then there's like the deflation of like, there's not hundreds of people that are doing it with me. And that to me is like a great example of why church is really important. You know, like
totally agree.
That asset of like, man, this is a really incredible season in the church, and there's hundreds of other people that are unified in what this means for this body of people. It gives a different level of like energy there to push through and to believe in it, you know, to have faith in that.
It is one of the many things that I love about the church. The church is so valuable on so many different levels. That is one of the many. We push each other to depths in Christ. That's what we should be doing. That's who we should be, and we do that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Church is lit.
It's fat.
It's fat.
Fat.
It's fat.
Church
Listen,
is fat.
looking at this video, Phil, you look like a little kid.
I know.
Johnny looks like a giant monster.
I'm telling you,
I look
every
like I
time.
should be in WWE right now.
It's literally the lens is so wide that everyone on the outside like doubles.
How about
and
my
everyone on the
biceps?
inside.
Those look bigger? Nope. They look
Johnny,
the
you
same.
from the last podcast, you gained 80 pounds, at least. At least.
People are gonna think you are so small, Phil.
I know. It's kind of funny. I'm gonna keep switching up.
Guess our heights in the comment section.
Everyone has their week to
Can't
to
wait
lose
till
some
my
weight,
week in the middle.
to lose some weight. All right, we're going to take a hard left. I'm talking the hardest left we've ever taken on the podcast. And honestly, this to me is one of my favorite parts about doing this with you guys is that, and I've talked to people about it too, it's that we can have authentic conversation about spiritual things and about the kingdom, and then we can just be really dumb and get goofy and defuse a bomb together.
Also,
Look, diffusing things in ministry is a huge part of ministry,
huge
right?
part of ministry.
Oh,
Diffusing
man.
situations.
I've been diffusing stuff all week long.
In the ministry world, we call that conflict resolution.
Right, and it's all the time. So
Nobody calls it conflict resolution.
we
They
got
do.
They
we got
call
some
it, oh, no, not again.
we got some classified files here for me and Pastor, and Johnny's got his laptop out. And what this is we're diffusing a bomb together. All right, this is it's called Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes. I don't know how many we're going to be able to do, probably a couple modules. But basically how this works is Johnny has a bomb that he's trying to defuse. Are you recording it?
Yep.
All right. Johnny has a bomb that he's trying to defuse. Me and you have the manual of how to defuse it, and we have to communicate with him what he needs to do, and he needs to communicate with us what's happening over there.
First time I've ever seen this, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked through all of it either. So the whole thing is gonna be, let's see if we can communicate properly.
Keep talking and nobody explodes is what it's called.
To communicate properly to defuse this bomb.
All right, I'm ready.
Do you have it up?
So I'm
first
looking,
bomb.
I'm at 1.3. First bomb.
You have the first bomb open.
Yeah, identify.
Okay.
First bomb.
Okay.
Everybody has to start somewhere. Let's just hope it doesn't end here too.
Okay.
Make sure the experts have the manual and are ready to help.
Okay. So introduction. Welcome to the dangerous, challenging world of bomb defusing. Look at this manual. You are the expert. In these pages, you'll find everything you need to know to defuse even the most insidious of bombs. Remember, one small oversight, it could be all over. So basically, there's a bunch of different modules that Johnny has, and he has to try to describe which one it is to us, and we have to find it and break down how it is.
So
how do you defuse it?
for this one, I hope this
What are we
isn't-
looking at?
It's 5 minutes, 3 modules, 3 strikes.
Okay.
That's what it says.
You're on the bomb?
I'm about to start it.
Okay. All right, ready.
Y'all ready?
I'm
Pastor,
ready.
you ready?
Yes.
All
It's
right.
5 minutes, 3 modules.
3 modules.
3 strikes.
3 strikes.
Three
3 strikes
strikes.
means that he has only 3 strikes to do a wrong move,
And I can't say anything.
and it blows up.
You can't
Wait,
say
what?
anything?
I think it's y'all two saying stuff.
No,
and
no,
I can't say
No,
anything.
you have
Johnny,
to
we
talk
don't see the
back
bomb.
to us.
Dude,
How would that work?
I'm about to die.
We don't see the bomb. How would
I'm
we?
about to just click and go. So y'all better be
Yeah,
ready.
you got to talk though.
You ready?
This isn't a mute thing.
Are you
gotta-
sure?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you
100%.
have to talk to
You
us.
got to describe to us what's happening.
What if I get shell shocked?
Then we're going to
Then we blow
up.
up, Johnny.
How many wires are on the module?
I'm starting. It just went to black. Oh my goodness.
How many wires are on
This screen is
the
for
bomb?
your eyes only. You are not allowed to look at the bomb defusal manual.
Okay, we're looking at that. Got you.
Only we can look at that.
How many
describe to us.
wires are on the bomb?
Johnny, you got to talk to us, bro. What are you
Why
looking
did
at?
you let
It's
him be
beeping.
the one?
1, 2, 3,
He
4,
doesn't-
5. There's 6. There's 6 wires.
There's
Holy
wires.
cow.
Okay, 6 wires. Whew. Okay, Johnny.
Is there a yellow one?
You got to
Yes,
listen
there's
super
one
careful.
yellow one.
So the last digit of the serial number is even, okay?
Okay.
There's one yellow wire and there's more than one wire. Okay.
What are we doing?
All right, listen. Are there any red wires?
There's one.
Okay.
Is there a yellow wire?
There's one in. Yeah, one.
There's only one yellow.
One yellow.
How about a white wire?
None.
No white wires.
And there's more.
Otherwise, cut the fourth wire.
It's the fourth, right?
It's the fourth wire.
1, 2.
Cut the fourth one.
I almost clicked.
Did you get it?
Wait.
Cut the fourth. Johnny, cut the fourth. Have you not cut it yet?
It's green.
Okay, we did good. We did good. What's next?
It's still going.
Okay, the wire's still there. All of it's still there. The bomb's still there. You have to
Yes.
click a different module, maybe. Did you do the wire? The wire one's good, which is green. That means good.
Why didn't you let us talk to
I cut.
you about
I cut
fixing this?
I cut the yellow wire.
What happened
Was the
after
yellow
that?
the fourth one?
Yes.
Okay.
You disarmed that module, which means that you need to go to a different module.
All right. Let's go to a different module.
Okay, what's the next module?
All right. It's got like some Greek symbols on there.
Okay.
One-
Keypads.
Keypads.
There's 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have to find which column has all 4. You need to describe the first one.
The first one is a A and an E.
Okay.
Together, like
Together,
Okay, there you
back-
go. Right there.
Yep. That's the only one with that.
There's only
right?
one with that.
Okay.
What else? What's
so
the next
press
one?
the 4 buttons in the order their symbols appear from the top to bottom within that column. Okay. So you need to press a
Guys, I got 3 minutes left.
A 6.
Yep. A 6.
Do what?
You got a 6?
No, I don't think so.
It's like a weird 6.
Like a weird
bro.
6.
Like
no,
the
I have an
top's kinda
upside
like
down N or a backwards N with a little
U above it.
U above it.
Yeah.
And then whatever that Greek symbol is, I think it's an
Oh, okay.
psi.
Okay.
Okay.
And then omega.
It's capital Omega.
Okay. So the A
So
and
he
E,
needed AE first.
psi, N,
That makes sense.
Q.
Yeah. AE first. Press that one.
AE,
Then psi.
then psi.
Psi is the upside
Crown one.
is the
Yes.
one that looks like an
It's like the
octopus.
trident. Yeah, the trident one.
What?
And then N, and then the.
Wait, what's the second
Omega.
one?
You can't look at this, son.
What's the second one?
It looks like
It's the trident.
The trident. This,
Okay.
All right.
and then N,
the N one.
and then omega.
All right, we're green.
Green. All right,
Okay.
next module. This is the third module. How much time we got left?
It's just the abort. I just hit the abort.
Abort.
There's an abort sign.
No, you don't abort.
That's the only thing
You
that's
do
on
the
there.
last module.
That's the module.
It said 3 modules.
Is that not a module?
Abort, I think, blows it up.
No. I don't think abort means you're good, dog.
All right, try it, I guess. No, I think the
There's
beeping
nothing
stops
else-
when we
There's
win.
nothing else to click. Is that for abort?
I don't trust you.
I'm-
I literally do not trust you.
we're
right now.
dealing with this is my life we're talking about.
well-
This is all that's
Well, if you
there.
want to live, you got to press the last
Dear
module.
podcast people.
My gosh. I'm gonna die.
Dear podcast people.
Johnny, there's a last module.
I think that's a
These
module.
two
Is abort.
children are
Is
fighting each
abort
other,
a module?
trying to decide
Abort
whether or
is
not they're
not
going
a
to blow each other
module,
up.
Johnny.
Oh, it's red though when it
Just
clicks.
know that
Johnny,
we love you. We
abort
appreciate
is
you
not a
watching this
module.
today.
There's nowhere else to click.
God bless you. I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast.
All right, I'm gonna click it. You ready?
Click it.
We're going to
3,
go with the board. 3,
two,
2,
1.
1.
Oh no, that's not a good sound, bro.
Oh, that's one strike.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to click abort.
What, I mean, who thinks abort is the right... Like... we don't stand for
what do I
abortion,
do?
nor do we abort
And
defusing
in
bombs.
what dimension is abort a good thing to press when you're trying to defuse the bomb, Johnny?
I have 30 seconds.
Abort
left.
mission.
You don't
abort
abort.
mission.
You got
run.
30 seconds. Find the last module.
There's literally not another module
In the
on
last
here.
30 seconds, I just want to tell you
This is
all
our final, this is our final
thankful
remarks
I
right here.
am
This is our final remarks.
for all of your time that you've spent podcasting
What is
with
going
us.
on?
Potting with us?
Yeah, you can say
Like
that, I
potting
guess.
with us?
Yeah.
Thank you for potting with us.
Thanks for potting.
Thanks for potting.
I'm dead. I'm
John,
Bro, you blew up. He's dead. That's
this
it.
is such a great idea, except for Phil gave Johnny the computer.
I exploded.
I figured he wouldn't be able to read the
Cause
manual,
of
right?
explosion.
That's true.
Time ran out.
Hey, try to avoid.
Time ran out.
I'm sorry.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank y'all.
Love you
Sorry
guys.
about that.
We'll hopefully do better next time. See you guys.